Because there's a big crossover with the bikes and the cars, and you know, I've been to your event, I've got nice sports cars myself, and I was always kind of amazed, like the turnout, and like, wow, this is really well run. Because my thing is, I don't want to do something if it's not well run or professional. And we saw that you guys had a bike night, you know, more specific this year, a little bit bigger than normal. And so Trey, that works with me, was like, hey, we should reach out to these guys. I said, yeah, that'd be a great opportunity, you know, get some crossover with, you know, you can always get like the Harley group, and then you can always get like the ADV, the adventure guys. But it's kind of, you know, we're hoping to bring, you know, and show there's a huge race market, sport bike market. You know, we do cruisers and adventures too, but just kind of bring another aspect to the shows to, you know, help the whole thing grow. So my thing is, like, when I first started this 28 years ago, I was like, I wanted to do just sport and street and race bikes. Everyone told me I was crazy, especially in Oregon, because the weather and seasonal. My thing is find what you're really good at and stick to it. I mean, I could build the hell of a 69 Chevelle if I really wanted to, but that's not my specialty, you know? So it's like, so we mainly do, you know, the sport, track day bikes, race bikes, and then all aspects of it. It's like, we have street bikes that come in all the time that, you know, just valve adjustments, tire changes, oil changes. And then we have guys that ship bikes from across, you know, basically across the globe, and they have us build full, you know, magazine quality, top-notch super bikes, you know? So it's like, we kind of do all that within that. And then we do have our ADV guys that want, you know, service and performance stuff, especially like tuning. You know, that's what we're really kind of, I built my company off of my tuning and doing all the ECUs and performance stuff. You know, we do stuff like we do the Beaverton City police motorcycles. You know, we retrofit them, we do all their service work, and we've actually done some pretty cool stuff with their laptops and stuff, and designing some parts. Because we've added a 3D department, you know, so we have 3 3D print Mark IV printers that we do. Our own velocity stacks, like intake runners for a car would be like similar. So we do velocity stacks and a lot of 3D parts. We have a full staffed eBay store, because when we build a lot of the race bikes, all that street stuff comes off, and it's like brand new. So there's a huge secondary market for that. And then if we have new old stock, we can sell on eBay. So our eBay store is massive, you know, and a lot of people, even locally, that come in, our customers, they're like, oh, you guys sell parts on eBay? And I was like, yeah, like our online store is doubling every 6 months. It's crazy. Like the international is what's really surprised me the most, is, you know, just with our reputation of having, you know, 100,000 plus followers on social media, and people in Malaysia buying your products. It's pretty cool. Probably the biggest hurdle right now is just like any industry or sport right now. It's people, the money is not cheap, like to get bike loans, and motorcycles are like an RV or a boat. They're not, you know, banks kind of like, nah, we don't want to finance, you know. So when the rates go up, you know, the bike sales stop. But what helps us is when the new bike sales drop, everyone keeps their older bike. So then our service department picks up. You know, our guys are like, you know what? I was going to get a new bike, but I think I'm just going to modify my bike now and update it or get the suspension redone. You know, so we've seen a big growth in that. The ADV bikes have taken off crazy because the manufacturers are supporting it too now. You know, before an ADV bike was like a, you know, a KLR 650, and it's like, but now you're getting these modern, you know, basically sport bikes that are taller, better suspension, you know, all the electronics. I mean, the amount of electronics is insane on the ADV bikes now. The cruisers have gotten, in my opinion, especially the Japanese market, the cruisers have gotten really stale. I just don't see, there's not a big thing. The Harley market's huge. We get probably a dozen calls a day. Can you tune my Harley? Can you do this Harley? And it's like, one, I don't have a dedicated Harley tech, and they're definitely a little different. You gotta have a little different toolbox even, you know, SAEs. But Harley is very protective of their product stuff. So it's a lot harder to get into tuning the ECUs and stuff because they're just so proprietary on stuff. I don't want to dilute what we're good at and what we're known for, you know, like it's, I feel like you should stick within your specialty, you know, a little bit. Like the next couple years, we're really going to try to expand a little bit more into like the online, like with YouTube and stuff. Like we've had so many requests for a YouTube channel, and like we do a lot of dyno videos and like results on like what you can get. It's hugely popular. It's just so time consuming. So I need to basically like come up with another department, you know, and basically hire more people for that. I think that's going to be a big space for us to go into because there's so many people that don't have a shop like ours, let alone anywhere in the country, let alone the Northwest. So we're trying to get a little bit more into that aspect. And then after that, I think just keep building the online store, you know, and then yeah, one day eventually end up surfing in Costa Rica for a living and maybe answering some tech calls via Zoom or something, you know. So, but that's at least 10 years from now.